And we are back this morning with our new First Responder Spotlight for this month. Our focus today, a group of volunteers, always on call, guided by faith.
I want you to meet the Flower City Chaplains. Among the leadership for the nonprofit, Tom Vasile, Elisa Demora, and Randy Henderson. When there's an emergency, a traumatic event, crime scenes unfolding, they show up. Their mission? Crisis counseling. And that mission took a new direction following the West Webster ambush. And
when we went down there, it was, at that time, there was no officer wellness unit or no help for officers or first responders that are subject to tragedy or critical incidences like that, or things that people should never really see in their lifetime.
Their support comes in many forms: prayer, devotion, just someone being there to sit down and listen. Vasile, retired from law enforcement himself, says a big medicine for PTSD is simple: talk.
There was nothing and there was nobody to be able to lean on back when I was a deputy.
Just listen to what he says could have been different during his career had that support system been there.
I probably hadn't had to go through a divorce. I probably would have been able to spend more time with my children. I ended up being a major crimes investigator where I was called out to duty. There were only 2 of us in the county and we covered the whole county. And I missed a lot of time with my kids. When I came home, I never wanted to tell my wife that stuff that I saw, because I didn't want her to see it. And I kept it all inside.
Every conversation they have is kept confidential by law. The only time that's shared is if there's a real concern for mental illness or suicide. They started out with just a handful of faith leaders, then launched an academy. Every year there's a new class. They don't just show up when there's a 911 call. They do ride-alongs, share meals with officers and firefighters, prayer roll calls done before a shift. Everything they do comes back to one thing: faith.
Prayer. Yeah, God keeps me in a good place all the time. You know, that I start my day off, having a conversation with Him and asking Him to help me through the day and to have me to do the things that He would have me to do. And
1 Corinthians, I believe it's in chapter 4, Paul writes about how God comforts us and that we need to be an extension of God, that we need to comfort others as God comforts us.
They're amazing people there. Being a nonprofit, the Flower City Chaplains rely on you, donors, to help fulfill their mission every day. If you do want to offer some support, we'll have a link to do that with this story today on RochesterFirst.com.